Incredible XRP news, ladies and gentlemen, all you beautiful people. We have a lot of cool things to talk about today. When it comes to CPI and PPI inflation facts, the economy just got a few huge changes. Another thing we want to talk about is some things Donald Trump has said, because this will have a big impact on our coin as a whole. But because of what he said, XRP is likely to have a much bigger effect on the market as a whole. For that reason, I want you guys to stay until the end of this video. Okay, guys, first we want to talk about these things because the CPI inflation numbers and the PPI inflation numbers are really important indicators that really help us guess what will happen in the markets. Because to be honest, a strong economy is one where cryptocurrency really takes off. To put that into perspective, let's just talk about this because this is the Fed's worst fear come true. At the same time that a few indicators of inflation are going up, the job market is showing signs of weakness. Since September 2022, this is the first time both the CPI and the PPI are officially on the rise. If we look at this, we can see that this is the first time since April 2023 that both core PPI and CPI inflation have been above 3%. Okay, we had a long time of solid metrics and stable figures, but now things are starting to look a little fishy again. The numbers have been going up over the last couple of months, as you can see here, and a lot of people are wondering why that is. It's really pretty easy though. We'll talk about that right away. From this picture, you can see that the Cobra OEC letter says this helps explain why we've seen straight lines. Better price movement in the 10-year note yield, even though the Fed has cut rates by 75 basis points, which is more than the 50 basis point drop they announced in September. Prices are going up. A lot of people think that mortgage rates will go up to 8% next year. To put it another way, yes, the Federal Reserve is lowering interest rates, but banks that give out mortgages, car loans, and other types of debt can't afford to do the same. They have an absurd amount of unrealized losses right now, which means that range needs to go down before these banks can really offer lower interest rates. In the meantime, we can see that temporary help jobs in the US have dropped by 154,870 over the last year, making them the lowest they've been since October 2010. One of the most important factors for the jobless fee has been taken into account. The number of temporary help services jobs has been going down for 23 months, which is the longest stretch since 2008. And once again, this is a worrying statistic. First, though, we need to talk about the United States budget imbalance. The United States wants to stop guys from spending too much money. In fact, it really wants to stop. And when I show you these numbers, you'll really understand why, as well as why people are investing in cryptocurrency right now. Everything is going to start to make sense now. With an increase of $257 billion in October, the U.S. trade imbalance can be seen to have grown. The U.S. budget deficit reached $67 billion in October of last year, which was 287% more than Yabu. To give you an idea of how big this is, experts thought the October deficit would be $73 billion. This means that the real budget deficit is 252% less than what experts thought it would be, which means that the business is not likely to go bankrupt. They couldn't have said it better. That is really true. There isn't a company in the top 100 that consistently wastes money as badly as the US government does. Also, I want to tell everyone that it is a public business. They're helping people, but they may be stealing a ridiculous amount of our tax money. I have a question for you guys. This is more than 250% more than what the government should be spending every month if it runs the country. Are you going to put your money on them? That may be a very clear no of path answer. You will no longer trust them with your money. Would you put your money into getting organized? This means they are paying 250% more than they can afford on the path. Right now, no company is going to go out of business tomorrow. You know for sure that you're not going to spend money on their business. So why do we give the government our tax money? This costs too much. The government is no longer listening to what the people want and is constantly screwing us over with inflation. Answer well. That is very correctly said. We shouldn't agree with them about anything, and we're not going to trust them for anything. That's probably why Donald Trump said, we're going to fix this problem, pay down the debt in 4 years. That's because if we can do this, we will have 4 years of truly great economic growth. There is a lot of worry about that, yes. But guys, there's light at the end of the tunnel, so please stay here. The first is that the Bitcoin ETF amount passed $7.4 billion in the last 24 hours. Guys, that makes no sense. The amount of money that has been moving through cryptocurrency over the past year is truly mind-boggling. We had no idea that we would actually see before the end of 24. And basically what we're seeing here is smart buyers and investors who know that the US government may not be doing such a great job anymore. In what places can we put our money? As you can see in the trade machine, Bitcoin and XRP stocks are all hitting all-time highs at the same time that the government debt is growing every day. So it's really important to keep in mind. Second, and since we're talking about an economic system, this is well run, and we can see what it means for XRP and the rest of the crypto market. Elon Musk has made a Twitter account for the Department of Government Efficiency Doge public. And this has already been proven by the government. In other words, this is happening. Doge, everything is going fine. It's happening. All of you who own Dogecoin, this is what Elon Musk is going to do. I mean, okay, let's put it this way, right? I guess that is a really important point. We can see a way. You already know of a government agency that is taking on over 250% more debt every month than they planned. That business would go out of business. Okay. The person who has run 4 multi-billion-dollar companies is the best person to run government spending and raise knowledge about how well the government is doing. Let's be honest about this, please. I believe that Elon Musk is the best person to do this. In the next 4 years, the US debt will almost certainly go away if Elon Musk can do for the government what he has done for his own businesses. It will be dealt with. We can't get rid of all our debt in 4 years, that's clear. But for a lot of them, it's going to go down instead of up. It's very clear that that is true. It's likely that interest rates will go down very, very low. We will see such a wealthy environment that there will be a lot more big crypto companies in the United States. In the coming years, more groups from Europe will be coming back to the United States. More of the work will be done in the United States. We won't be sending that money to other countries to pay for cheap work for toddlers, which I personally don't agree with. Instead, it will be used to buy things in America. Also, yes, it will be a good issue. This is interesting. We will have to deal with the Biden-Harris government for a few more months, though. And they just declared something, which is the same thing as saying they are going to give us as much money as they can to Ukraine over the next few months because they know that Donald Trump isn't going to do it. And I think they just gave permission for it to go up to $7 billion, $7 billion more for Ukraine. Crazy, completely crazy. Now that we've talked about that, I just want to quickly add this to what I said about Dogecoin. Elon Musk says he believes that Dogecoin's flat reducing inflation is now a feature, not a bug. I agree too. For those who didn't know, Dogecoin is technically bearish. Sorry, I guess you could call it negative since it's bringing down prices. It's not really deflationary, but it does have reducing inflation built in, which is great for scanner for scalability, especially over time. Guys, I do think that Doge is another great bet here, especially with the Department of Government Productivity. It's a good guess. The source says that the law says the agencies had to be listed as businesses in the US before they could give out the crypto property. Businesses that have crypto assets on the market right now can take a path to move to the United States. This plan is part of the broad